All right, I think we live.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
we live. We live. Listen, we got a special episode on today. We ain't really got no special introduction to this, but we got the brother
What's
Fred
going
Freeze
on?
in the building.
Yeah, what?
You know what I'm talking about? I go by the name Master Man. You feel me? So yeah, man,
Not
what's going
much,
on,
man.
Fred?
I just wanted to hit you up and chop it up. To go ahead.
Oh no, no, go ahead. It seems like it's a bit of a
Okay,
delay in here, but
okay,
we're
that's
gonna
not a
work it on
problem.
through.
We can get it in after in editing or whatever, hopefully. But no, I was just saying that I wanted to touch bases with you because as an artist, everybody's been going crazy over this AI stuff, and we're both artists. We're both people who worked in music. Uh,
Oh no,
oh
robot,
no,
robot.
oh man, what is going on? How's it
All
now?
right, yeah, we
Okay,
should be good
so
now.
we're both artists and we both worked in music to some capacity. We, recording artists. I do production and record, and of course, as you can see, we do media. So everybody, anytime you turn on the TV or look on the internet, everybody's going AI crazy. And we all know about Web3, which we need to probably have even a secondary
Mm-hmm.
episode on Web3 because it's so big in itself. But
Yeah,
AI and AI, this
yeah,
this
true.
could probably be a multiple show type thing here. But I wanted to check with another artist that I know, still writing and so on and so forth about how do they feel that what is AI gonna do? Because you got one artist, we got one subset of artists that feel like it's over, like they just gonna take everybody's job. People just gonna be doing AI music, and that's it. And then you got the three big record companies out here suing two of the best, I think, AI services because they said that they trained on their data and they're going to make music that's going to compete with them using the data that they trained on. And
Mm-hmm.
I know I have mine. I mean, I'll ask you how you feel about it.
Well, I mean, it's crazy, man, because from the underground, I got an underground perspective and I got a mainstream perspective. From the honestly, I believe from the get go, all this shit should be free. It shouldn't be no type of money involved into this to where companies is having to fight over the money. The artists should get paid. You know what I'm saying? The people like the music support the artists. So dialing a little bit into the Web3, that falls into my Web3 perspective because it's peer to peer. And I think that's a solution to AI when you're looking at it from the mainstream standpoint. And like I said, diving deep into the mainstream, it's like, well, you kind of don't have a choice because you're constantly like these guys are under contracts. You know what I mean? They're signed to these major labels, so they kind of have to do what they say. But for the freelance artists that's not really signed, they may just have a short term deal. I would say they need to start researching about Web3 and how these particular benefits is going to be able to benefit us for as an artist long term perspective. Because I mean, a couple guys that did it already. You know what I mean? What the brother Lil Russell doing? That's pretty dope. What's the guy? He's locked up now from the shorty that he shot in the foot, supposedly,
I keep
allegedly.
forgetting. Yeah, I keep forgetting
he
his name.
dropped it.
Tory
I
Lane.
forgot his
His
name. You
name
know what
Tory
I'm talking
Lane.
about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Tory Lane. Yeah, he well, basically NFT album, whatever, and made $1 million off of it. You know what I mean? So it's ways that it can be done through and beneficial for the artists in the long term through blockchain Web3 technology versus the AI situation. Okay, going back to the mainstream again, you got all this data of just talented artists. Just naming down the list. Your whole top 10 is being fed to the AI. So of course this artist is gonna be probably 1,000,000 times better, or perhaps make much more music, quality of music, and different types of music to your liking. Like if they're able to personalize the AI in the future, they'll probably be able to do something like this. If you're able to personalize the AI to your genre or liking or thinking of music that you would want to make, and it just becomes this AI artist that you think of, there's no need for the artist anymore. But the thing is with AI and the love for the music, the artists that just don't just do this for a paycheck, then now you're looking at real art versus artificial intelligence art. Because the real art is we make music that's gonna move you, soulful music. AI gonna be able to get a little closer to these things, of course, as the future and technology go on, it gets better. But I do think that music from a soulful standpoint, AI is not gonna be able to replicate that. Just even in some lines of ad libs, AI just not gonna be able to just have that same feel to when a artist or underground artist that's just in it for the love and sweat and tears of it, they ain't gonna be able to have that same passionate effect. Because when another human make music, we feel it. You know what I mean? And with AI, I listen to some of the AI stuff. I mean, knowing that it's AI, I don't have that. My emotional intelligence is now just cut off from it. You know what I mean? So now, if I see in the future, it'll probably be able to trick someone to where it has so much intelligence to where you won't even know it's AI, then you looking at a time that I don't think no one can kind of foresee almost. Because you're looking at now is like, well, if we can almost clone the human being, going back to my other point, there's no need for the artist. But I do think at some time it's going to become do you like music just to entertain, or do you like music to eat from? You know what I mean? To genuinely enjoy and let these words move you and soothe you. Are you there to eat from it? You know what I mean? Really feel good. I'm going through something, I need to, you know what I'm saying? That feel for it. I don't think AI is going to be able to connect with the human to give them that feel good that we be looking for in music. So that's my whole take on that.
And that's what I agree, because one thing about AI, and I think that's what people, and I'm gonna kind of go through what I was thinking, because AI lacks intent. AI lacks intent. So the human being is irrational, and plus we're basically a creature that we take all of our cues from what we've experienced, what we grew up listening to, all of that stuff. That's what we take our cues from, right? AI, on the other hand, is just mimicking that. It's just mimicking something, so it can't do that. You're going to have a human director on the other side. The biggest issue, are there going to be some bad actors? Because I don't see it, because I think even using the word artificial intelligence is a misnomer, because it's not really artificial intelligence. It's more of a patchwork. Because it's not like it's thinking by itself. It's basically a mathematical equation that's sitting down and with machine learning and just learning off of large data set and reprocessing it based upon some keywords that have been plugged into the data set, right? So it's not like it's sitting down and it doesn't fear death, like they do the little lame thing like, oh, this thing is sentient. No, it's not. Because sentience, you don't even understand where consciousness comes from, which is several different things, like from a desire to remember where your food is so that you can survive, a fear of death so you can survive, and then there's other things that makes consciousness. And these machines have no need for any of that. You know what I'm saying? You could turn it off and turn it right back on, right? And it'll be just as good as it was off. It doesn't lose anything if it loses oxygen. You see what I'm saying? So you're in the Dr. Manhattan conundrum. So it's, even if you could program a machine that is going to go around and just, go through new experiences and change with the experiences, would you flaw a machine and give him the things that are the flaws in humans that make us make art? Because art is a form of communication? No, you probably would. So therefore, you're going to end up having to create, basically the artist is going to use what I can see in the future. And I'll talk about that labor suit. I'm not labor, but those label suits, or lawsuits, excuse me, with all my little stumbling there. Basically, I can see, because the big three labels are suing Suno and Udio, which are the top AI music. And they're suing them for training on their data set. Now, those of us who understand how unscrupulous the music industry is, I feel like it's another Spotify situation. It's another power grab. I mean, I'm on the side of being an artist. Of course, I'm on the side of us getting paid us getting a fair shake for what we gonna get. But these labels don't care about the little artists, because you can see how they do with Spotify. When they negotiated that Spotify deal, they're getting 80% of the royalties that come out. They got us getting less than a halfpenny for anything and everything. And I'll touch on that direct to consumer and Web3 thing in a minute. But so I know they're not suing to protect us, even though they're pretending like they are. It's almost like how they started acting when rappers started sampling things, right? They made a secondary industry for sampling so they could make money off of dead catalog or catalogs that had lost steam, and they were just sitting around collecting dust, and these kids were rediscovering it and bringing this stuff out, and giving songs that probably hadn't made as much money or any money, obscure songs that ain't made any money in forever. All of a sudden Jay Dilla flips it into a new banger or flips it into something, and then now, okay, we need some money for that. And it would be fine, and I would be fine with that if Jay Dilla was paying directly the musicians that put that together and everybody was getting a percentage. But that's not how they basically just created sample houses, and you had big labels and big houses buying up all the catalogs of music everywhere to resell, and the people who created it, they still, homeless or working at a daggum pizzeria or grocery store to try to survive, right? You still ain't paying the musician, but they out here like, the musicians need to get paid. See, that's, and I tell people, do not be fooled. A lot of people cheered like, yeah, the labels are coming in. I say UMG, Universal Music Group, is developing their own AI already. You got like several other people. I feel like the way this case is going, they're suing so they can get control in the same way that they got control of Spotify. They won't in. So they got to create a pressure arm to get in. So either they force these guys to change their data set, and they just, they make a slick move off the data set later, and they give up all their old data, whatever. And, I don't know how that'll work. Hopefully people don't lose anything, but it'll be like that. And then they'll probably change the rights of how you can release the music, and they may start putting tags on it, and you have to pay a certain, if it's it's going to be something crazy, right? So they're going to come up with all kinds of gobbledygook to muddy up the works and try to get their hands in the pot. But it won't protect the artist. If you are Parliament Funkadelic and somehow it trained on you and somebody made a aight funk song, you ain't finna get paid off of it. Like, George Clinton probably would never see a nickel, right? Because he don't even own his catalog. And like, for instance, De La Soul just did get their catalog back after Trugoy just when Trugoy was dying, right? So that's the type of stuff that's happening. So that's that one thing. So I don't believe in that lawsuit. I mean, that I don't think that benefits the artist. I mean, it may, if it helps us talk about how things are trained, but I think the genie's out of the bottle on that, because you got too many services. And like I tell people, the tools, STEM, separation, converting things to MIDI, and all this other stuff, we're so far down the rabbit hole. This little AI is just a button click where I have to do 3 button clicks to do something else, right? So you just making 1 button click. If you got a digital audio workstation and you got these other sources, bro, it's literally nothing left. It's literally nothing. When I kid you not. If you can't do production nowadays, you just don't want to do production. I'll tell people like that. That's how bad it is.
So the AI that made
Man, I'm trying to tell you, and it's not just the AI. It's the fact that once they got into STEM separation, once they got into the fact that I can convert files to MIDI, which means now I can put them into virtual instruments and reconstitute them into whatever I want it to be, right? And rework it to something into whatever I want it to be, and also change notes. I'm like, bro. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what is there left to do at this point? So now everything is at my disposal, and you can't own melodies 100%. Like, if I play your melody exact and I'm using the same instrument, and and it's obvious that this is that melody, you could maybe make a case for it. But then you got that whole situation where you got interpolation and you got bro, what are you gonna do for real? You kind of stuck. Now, it's like, you remember the blurred line situation where Marvin Gaye and them sued Pharrell and Robin Thicke.
Yeah.
That that kind of fell in there because again, where they played, they basically went in there and replayed something that, and honestly, it was kind of close to what they were already doing. That hey, all that other, I'm like, that was kind of like already tied to that. You know what I'm saying? And so they went a little far. You know what I'm saying? And they were just like, oh no, it's an interpolation. I was like, bro, you went a little far for an interpolation. But anyway, I know I'm going long, but I'm gonna bring it in. But AI is basically at, from that standpoint, on the business side, I feel like the labels are just protecting themselves. They're not protecting the artists. I feel like independent artists, going to the Web3 side of things, direct to consumer is what we're talking about. I think everything is going back to direct to consumer. And it's funny because Universal Music Group is creating a direct to consumer plank too. So basically Universal Music Group is getting ready to pretty much have their own AI, and then they're going to have a direct to consumer arm to kind of compete with your band camps and stuff like that, I believe. This is something else they got. See, that's what I'm saying, because they're at the point now where they realize there's a couple things that's going to happen with this AI. AI cannot make music just by itself. It's like, it's going to have human intent. The best songs, even if you use AI, is going to come out of producers who know how to use it, and, the musicians and people like that you can get to be like, if you remember CNC Music Factory and stuff like that, or you look at how boy bands are put together, labels are going to get to the point where they're just going to get some people in there. It's almost going to be like casting reality shows, right? They're going to get somebody in there. They can, have the voice, or they might not even need it. They can clone their voice or whatever, right? They go in there, get a bunch of voice clones. They work with a producer. They go ahead and get a bunch of songs made. Then they package the songs. If they decide to play them out, and they start putting them somewhere, they start getting some traction, they go hire a band to play it out. It's not the band anymore. They own everything from the rooter to the tutor. Will.i.am was talking about that, like he said, because I'm telling you, Will.i.am does great technology reviews too. And like he said, one of the biggest thing about what he was saying was, it's the future is them creating artists. So that's me sitting at the house and making a blues sing, right? And then I release the blues song, and if I ever want to play it out, I would go probably hire somebody to go play it out, right? And be like, I'm gonna get you 10 shows for this. You got to give me this because it's give me this because it's my music, but you get this because you gonna get this for your performance. So you just a hired musician at this point. And so that's gonna be the place for musicians. Now, don't get me wrong, you still gonna have your singer-songwriters who are your regular musicians. So this ain't gonna be the end for people making music or anything, because that's where the direct consumer come in. And this is what I try to explain to everybody. And the Web3 tools and so on and so forth. If you are a brand, you're going to have literally go to your limited base. I think the days of the old record deals and stuff like that is coming to an end. So you got a lot of these young rappers and people like that who were getting paid. Like people were like all hype about how much money they were getting paid for these deals. I think that's going to come to an end. I think that's going to come. Oh man, them 360 deals are worse. Because let's say we get a hit, right? We out here, we making traction out here. Well, somebody gonna come to you and say, "Hey, man, I could take you to a high level," and and the only way you can really work through these deals is if you got so much leverage that you can force them to give you X amount of dollars. Like Drake, for instance, Drake's deal is like $400 million, right? But see, man, the what they own on Drake, bruh, that label, I don't even want to know what that dude got to do, right? For $400 million, because that's that kind of money that, again, there was a saying back in the day. If you sign a 5-album deal, or if you sign a multiple album deal, that's a lifetime. That's a lifetime of music, dude. People didn't realize it, because back in the day, you weren't releasing albums every year. So bruh, if they got you for 5 albums, that's about a career. And then 9 times out of 10, they got you on payday loan status and you're not paying it back. And see, I know as an independent, like the funny thing is we always laugh. We sold way more units than a lot of people that you know. Like one of my homies he sold like what 50,000 on a release like not too long ago. You see what I'm saying? And that's grinding direct to consumer in the southeastern footprint and going down into Texas and stuff. That ain't a lot of units. You know, major label go crazy, be like, oh man, you a flop. But when you look at Bandcamp and stuff like that, $10 a pop, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Through CD Baby and other distributors, you know, he did his thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of my crew members. That's how we actually move and stuff like that. And we did a vinyl reissue on an overseas label of some of our old work as well. But that wasn't, you know, that was just like a boutique deal. So that's what you have to do. You do like a boutique situation. Cause see, we own our publishing. We the publishing holder, right? We the my collective holds publishing over 200 songs. Well, it's more than that actually, because it keeps getting added to as people create stuff. But you own publishing on it. So whatever's mine in the collective, I get my money off of. Whatever features I got in the collective, I get paid off of if they license it or whatever. But we will maybe cut a deal with somebody small, like a boutique label. You see what I'm saying? And you get paid off of it that way. Or your stuff gets licensed, or you get whatever. But if nowadays, the direct-to-consumer model, and I shout out Curtis King and other people like that, well-known YouTuber with his DIY movement, that dude actually be talking a lot of good sense. I can't even front. He talks a lot of good business. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to like a Curtis King.
Who that?
You should check his channel out for his tips on putting out music and stuff like that. Cause he's doing like what we're doing right now. We're talking about our use of AI, and I want to know more about Web3 from your standpoint, because you're a Web3 dude, super big time. But he talks a lot about he has a media footprint which allow his music to get on. Because that's another thing. I'm gonna say this now. I want you to talk about Web3, but he is actually, how do you put it? He kind of touched on how we got to go direct to consumer, and you basically got to build that identity and work with your groups of people, your fan base, to survive in the game now. And you got things like Web3 and all that other stuff that makes it easy. So Bandcamp and all, because I think he dropped 3 small projects and sold like 11,000 units, and he pulled all his music off of Spotify and stuff like that, because you ain't making no money on Spotify anyway. And now he got a new hustle where he's only putting snippets of songs on Spotify and directing people back to his other stuff. So
that's the way to do it.
Go ahead. I want to hear more about like Web3 in the sense that I know I've got Audius, and I wanted to start using Audius to put some stuff up myself. I'm starting to slowly but surely, work some catalog of some tracks I just had laying around, because I wanted to see how it is with YouTube and so on and so forth. And of course I want to put them in the same cycle, and then I'm gonna go through the full thing, because I'll be shooting you some tracks, working through some tracks, maybe doing a little recording again myself as I get time to breathe, and as such as that is. But that's something. But I use art. I've been tinkering with artists, but don't consider me an expert, because I'm new to that.
Well, no, I'm gonna say so. The thing is with Web3, I think it's the solution to the AI problem, but the biggest problem that Web3 facing is the ease of people doing things. And it's a word that I'm looking for, but I can't. It's not coming to me at the moment. But so let's say everything, all of your apps and stuff is tied to your wallet. You have to keep up with your passphrase and different things of that matter. Now, I do think these particular problems in the Web3 space, AI is the solution So they kind of work like hand in glove. AI is going to be the solution for Web3 and because think of like I'm gonna paint multiple pictures here. With the Apple new iPhones is coming out with their particular Apple Intelligence, that's going to allow people to have AI right there on the side, but also make the phone much more smarter with all these new chips, new technology. Now, along that comes with new technology, they're starting to integrate blockchain technology into a lot of this stuff. So with that integration, onboarding process, that's the word I was looking for. Onboarding process. So now we have a lot of blockchain technology integrated into a lot of this stuff. The onboarding process, AI is going to help with that. If they do it right, it can help. It can help with the onboarding process because people will just be able to sign in. AI be able to keep up with your wallet, keep up with your passphrase, different things of that matter. So now you fix the onboarding process. Now you can, let's say if we're surfing the web or you're listening to something, hey, who is this artist? Boom, your AI listen to this artist, pull it up. Now I'm probably just predicting the future at this point. The AI listen to the artist, pull them up, and say, hey, here's their wallet. You like the song? They're selling the song. Boom, direct to consumer. They send me however much they want to send me for the song, for the album, playlist, art, any of these things, and also attached to the QR code is going to show you or whatever the AI is going to be able to pull up everything. Here's this artist, this is what they do, this is how you can support them. So with the integration of all these things working hand in hand, I think it's going to be a good situation for the artists on that standpoint. Because like I said, once AI is keeping up with your wallet, you got everybody on board, ready to go. So as long as you'll be able to do the onboarding process with Apple, billions of users, and Android, billions of users at the palm of their hand, easy going, that's game set. That's what we need to push the Web3 music industry to the next level. Because, okay, you get a snippet from Spotify, and this is how we will beat these guys out because they wouldn't have access to our personal wallet. That's where we step into control and cut the middleman out. Now that the consumer has my wallet address, they can pay me whatever direct. They listen to the song 20 times today, and if they decide to pay me $1 20 times that one day, that's what they decide to do. So those are the power of that. I think that's going to be the future, and the power of peer-to-peer connection and Web3 fix the fix that I think it can have in the music industry. Now, for us, what the record labels are going to do on their end is just give more money. And at this point, it's going to switch over to a point to where, okay, we're going to start paying our artists in Bitcoin. Now we're living in the future to where all the artists know that, hey, Bitcoin is a store of value, is something that, you know what I'm saying, we can really benefit from. Boom, I'll take that deal. Now, under this deal, we have our wallets. These are our wallets. Every time you make a song, this song is attached to this wallet. Now we get to moving through the blockchain. Now, this is where it gets really tricky because by we moving the music and moving through these smart contracts through the blockchain, this stuff is locked in on a secure ledger to where, okay, you can't go outside this wallet. If you, then the papers that you just signed, so on and so on. So it's going to be ways that I just kind of painted a double-edged sword on both sides, but that's what the genie does. So it's going to be ways to where the record labels will be able to kind of figure these things out and find loopholes to still get the money or still trick the consumer to, hey, come sign a deal over here. We'll pay you Bitcoin, but along that comes with these deals are things you have to sign with, agree to. Is it maybe a contract or whatever? Still keep them in the track. But now we're just doing business through the blockchain, and now we're paying them in Bitcoin. You feel what I'm saying? So that's one way how they can do it, but I don't think that'll work for the newer generation because they're going to be much more educated on the future of crypto, more educated on the future of Bitcoin, more educated on the future of Web3, more educated on the future of blockchain technology. So if they're more educated in all those areas, the big major music industries, they wouldn't be able to succeed. The only way they will be able to succeed is when the banks start coming in and start buying these media companies up. And now JP Morgan own all of such and such. You know what I mean? Because they're already under, they're already using private blockchains or whatnot for their customers and client base. So now the banks or these major players that's in the space, BlackRock and any other major player that's in the blockchain space, these cats own a lot of Bitcoin. So guess what they're going to use? Guess what they can do with this stuff? Start building stuff onto these different blockchains, and along come with that private companies and so on and so on. But what they can do with the private companies and so on and so on, buying up these music companies or recreating these music companies through different blockchains. For example, Ethereum ETF is going to get ready to pass. With these major guys getting into the Ethereum blockchain, investing into it, that's going to allow for the productivity and all type of research and development that's now can be invested into and be worked on and done. And along with all this money that's going to come into the space of crypto, blockchain, Web3, because all those things are connected. With all the money that's going to come into that, these are going to be some of the plans that's going to come down the pipeline that's going to follow that money also, because now they have a backing to do it. So it's kind of like remaking what's already out here in the physical with the fiat currency that we know it, just redoing these things in the digital version, since the world is already shifting towards a digital version. But that's where the educated and the people, more of the army of, hey, we're going to take control of our future type deal. Because there's always going to be a battle fighting between the people and big greedy money. So that's kind of a two-sided perspective of the whole thing of how Web3 and the music and all is going to tie in together.
Now, one thing I like to add, knowing the music industry the way I do, I can go ahead and tell you that the big thing that the music industry is trying to go toward with this AI is back to what I was saying. They're going to create their own warehouses, right? And it's so basically the time, like I always tell our friend Brandon, the time of the producer is upon us. Like you're going to see more and more producer albums. Basically what's going to happen is, that's why will.i.am is talking about, watch what will.i.am is saying. Again, he knows that labels just want to sit there and get a bunch of guys that can use this technology, and be a one-man band, or at least a several-man band that'll work on a 4-project basis. If you look at what's happening to animation, how all the animators are laid off, a lot of, like 85% of the animators in the United States were laid off, right? And it's because of, like, again, outsourcing and so on and so forth, and they're changing how they're doing this. And, you know, it's like, everything is going to get down to a deeply personal, individual level, because the labels, on the other hand, they're to the point now where they like, artists are a liability. I mean, they become more of a liability because it's too hit and miss, and they know that they control all of the resources when it comes to the machine at which people experience music. And so they're going to consistently, like, they control Spotify, they control all of the streaming services. That's why I always laugh when you got a lot of these people in the industry, they say they got this or they got that. And I'm like, you have a vanity label. There's only a handful of independents, like what Tech9 and them have. And basically, they're 100%, they're independent. You know what I mean? And and notice nobody knows about them, but they're making money and they're on Forbes list all the time. So they're doing direct to consumer. Yeah. They built up their base. People like the Insane Clown Posse, they got to the point where they can throw their own festivals, right? They circumvented the industry. You got Esham from Detroit, because Esham was talking about he streamed. Now, he sold way more than this, but he was complaining about his streaming results, right? Because he streamed a million. And if you stream 1 million, If you don't got to do splits, that's about $4,000. This man didn't give a $2,358. He was saying that's like back in the day, that was 238 CDs for $10. So if he had sold 1 million, or 1 million people had bought a single for $5, you know what I'm saying? You know, you sitting on a little knot right there, right? Instead of sitting up here like saying, man, 1 million people have checked out my music. You know what I'm saying? Or consistently has checked out something. And all I got is $2,000.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of people are saying, hey, this streaming thing ain't working, Chief. We got to do something else. Right. And so they're going direct to consumer, whereas the labels, on the other hand, they're doing something. They're saying, forget this crap. We fixing to go ahead and start building us some artists. And we're gonna go ahead and start. And then if we sign anybody, it's gonna be directly to pretty much just do a Drake, right? Because as you can see, Drake was even using linear notes. That's part of what this whole interaction was about. It's a lot of that is under the table beside all his other actions. But it's like people know that there's a shift coming in the industry, and the labels are the reason why they're going after these AI companies is because they want to own those AI companies the same way they own Spotify. So they want to get their hand, because they can't control technology. They want to control technology and control the lane, and so that they can actually go ahead and lock everybody out and not really, put you in a situation where you got to kind of bow to them. But the big thing is, like I said, it's best to go ahead and go direct to consumer. It's best to go ahead and create your platforms. You got things like Even, where people can pay you directly. We already knew about Patreon. You know about the band camps. Heck, I even see zines and stuff popping back up. Ways to interact with humans so you can actually go ahead and get yourself in the game. And that's really how you get anything going with your blockchain elements and so on and so forth with it. Because that is really what's coming with the industry. I'm telling you, when bands, the reason why they don't sign bands, because bands are way more expensive. Bands are way more expensive than a kid with a laptop talking about he'll trap rapper, right? Signing that kid, that ain't nothing but, hey man, this dude, man, they gave me $1 million. Dude, you gonna have to pay that back in loan money. And that $1 million was what they found in their, they want that $1 million back, but they found it in their couch. That's good money for you to waste and never pay back. So now they finna own your catalog, and if you do get a hit, they gonna take that hit and spin it to the end of time, and you ain't got your publishing. Because again, Eric Sermon showed you when you got your publishing what happened. You know what I'm saying? He got pieces of a lot of big songs. Yeah. And like he said, that bring him $1 million because he got a piece of all these big songs. You got this when you're doing your work. So, but now it's just getting to the point where like people are selling whole catalogs because they know it's diminishing returns. You had these big whales that they were living off of, like physical sales, radio outputs, TV placements. They were living off of that. But the reason why you see all these people selling their catalogs, they getting old, and they know that there's only going to be so much more out of that. Plus, they're not going to be able to buff it with touring. So they would go blow through a lot of money and then just hit the road for a year and be able to keep living like they were young. You know what I'm saying? But now they just go ahead and diversify, selling it all off. And see, that's why they're going after these companies saying, hey, you get in my catalog that I paid up $10 million for. And then you got, I forgot the name of Reservoir. Yeah, Reservoir is buying so many, because during COVID, they bought so many catalogs, but I think that's a diminishing return. That's a diminishing return with the catalogs that they bought. And that's another reason why they going to AI. Because you ain't got to buy no catalog. You basically just made the stuff. It's mine. Because I want you to know, and I'm going to say this, before I stop. Spotify got busted for actually having bands in Sweden or one of the other countries, like playing, they were in the easy listening, lo-fi, fleet music subgenre. People were playing that stuff, right? Instrumentalist subgenre. And they were over there, even some electronic. They make playlists based on their own stuff. So they got that great value in-house going on over there in Spotify. So you up here putting your heart and soul trying to put your song up. You didn't up here spend. That's why I be telling my other friends that produce. I said, man, you up here trying to get a snare right. Them dudes they're gonna throw out. Now I ain't saying that you should water down your work, but you got to understand the market. Like you devalue yourself when you show up over there with them. You basically have to like that's what Curtis King is saying. You got to go ahead and say, look, man, if you want mine, buy this thing that I got, and I'll give you an indicia or a QR code. You get my music, right? You get this. Mm-hmm. You get this. You get the thing that I'm selling, like my hat or my whatever, and you're going to get this album or you're going to get this EP. You feel me? And so, that's it. Yeah. So you live your life on that. And then you start getting some nice little visuals made around it, and you do it. And so basically you start interacting with a fan base and build it up. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's the way, that's going to be the future. And I like I said, that, in closing with me on AI, I just think AI, there's some negatives and there's some positives. Is it going to displace some musicians? Like people are like, man, these people going to get AI beats. They're going to be rapping AI beats. And I said, man, look, the people that are, I don't think, the stuff I hear from AI is not so good. It's going to get better. I said, I just don't have that kind of belief. It's still about the ear. It's like if a person, some people will pick any old beat and jump on it and think they done did something. It's hard to make a song that resonates and that's got staying power. It's hard. That's hard. Songcraft is hard. Even when you got a label deal, I'm talking about dudes who got the best producers in the world, sitting in the studio with them, they come and give us some boo, right? Like they turn in some stuff. The beat ain't bad. They rapping ain't bad, but it ain't nothing you want to hear again. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? And so I tell people, so you telling me a machine is gonna get lucky just about as often as a human. It may be faster at getting lucky. You know what I'm saying? And then you as a creator have to hear that beat, and it's gotta make your pen wiggle. And then you gotta hit it just right. You know what I'm saying? And literally land all that stuff, get it mixed by the right folk, and then put it out there and people are like, woo, that song, woo, I play that every day. That's hard. It's like, that's like eating some good, like you said, food. AI can't do that. That takes a lot of human error, a lot of trial and error. And so you ain't gonna get that out of AI. You can replace a lot of these, like, melodic rappers, vibe rappers. You can replace a lot of them because, again, a good sound pack and a good producer will replace it. But when it comes to somebody who's giving you something and they're unique and their voice is unique or their concept is unique and it's a unique perspective, because it's going to be unique as the individual, because every voice is like a footprint. Like, that's going to require that. So I think there's that side. Are there going to be bad actors that's going to abuse it? Yes. The labels are going to be bad actors. You're going to have these get-rich-quick guys who are going to do like 1,000. They're going to sit there on that AI all night long, create beats, flood the market with them, or they're going to, create channels and flood it. It's going to happen, man. It's part of the game. They do that. I ain't saying it's good. I ain't saying it's bad. I don't even care if they try to crack down on it. Somebody's still going to break the law. Hell, y'all ain't suing number 2 up. You know how many music making AIs there is out here? I mean, Avia, SoundDraw, I could go down the list. There's a bunch of them. Hell, there was a rapper, and I'm gonna leave it alone after this. There's a rapper that jumped on SoundDraw, and I forgot who his name is. We were talking about him the other day. I don't know, was it Gunna or who? Somebody was rapping over a beat that they made in SoundDraw. They did that was a big thing about their album. They put it in SoundDraw. And then you got other things like sound. There's another sound something. Listen, man. Like, this stuff is out there. It's out there now. So it ain't no need to trying to hide. Ain't no need to trying to duck. And then when you can take whatever you got and put it in a DAW and break.
So look. Because in some places you have the consumer to where they don't really care about the details to the art that we're speaking about. That what makes music different from AI music. A lot of the consumers don't even pay attention. They just be kind of hopping off the beat, or just kind of like you said, vibe rappers or whatnot.
That's
you know what I mean? And see, also something else, doesn't the AI, speaking so heavy about the AI and how it's able to basically think faster than a human or make all these different songs quicker than a human, doesn't that like discourage the artist? You know what I'm saying?
No, because
you don't think
art
so?
is something. Art is like me and you communicate, right? Art is a communication. It's kind of like, it's something that's within the person, right? True art. Now, don't get me wrong. The industry and the co-options, that's not art. That's entertainment. So what we're talking about is two different things. See, that even when we looked at what happened with Drake and Kendrick, like, people don't understand. You don't gotta love either one of them, but one of these guys is being studied in Harvard and MIT. The other guy, he sells a bunch of records and everybody likes him. Like, they like him just because he makes easy digestible stuff. Like, McDonald's. That ain't no diss. That's not saying that what he does is all bad. It's just saying it's a different vibe, right? So for the industry, you're gonna have your casual listeners. And that's why I said that's why the industry wants to go ahead and create these models where they can actually put out these, clone type artists or these AI type things. Because they know, hey, I'm gonna get these casual listeners, I'm gonna feed them that, and then occasionally I'll get somebody with the look or whatever like that, and then I'll throw out me another Drake. That's basically how they operate. That's how they operate. And that's not saying Drake can't rap or nothing like that. We ain't gonna get into that. That's your own taste. But because he's good at what he does, but he's not like, again, what everybody. It's like you like what you like, but people won't admit when something is pop. Like, and they act like all pop is just got to be bad. It's just pop. And so you got like casual. You got casual listeners. And the casual listeners, they keep the lights on. They're the ones who just go out and they consume. And that's what the industry wants. They want a guaranteed consumption thing. Most of the time when you go to art is like going to the museum. When you go to the museum, man, you're going to see some stuff that may throw you off. You're going to see some stuff that may make you say, dang. You're going to see some stuff that's going to inspire you to go do something. And that's really what art does. Like, I illustrate too. So one of my illustration teachers said, like, everybody starts out drawing, but most people stop. You know what I'm saying? So you're only as good as where you left off. Yeah. Right? And so that's what a lot of people don't realize. You're only as good as where you left off. We stop because they tell us there ain't no future in it, or you can't do nothing with it. But those of us who continue, like we always say, the artist is the child who survives. The system tries to kill the person's inner child or the person's inner dream. So that's the creative. The creative, they can't let it go. They're gonna always create. They have they can't do anything but create. Whether anybody see it or not, people gonna create. Like, you gonna go somewhere else, somebody can do the most intricate little thing and you be like, damn. But that's what that person does. That's their part of their identity. And when people look at it, it's literally their art. Killer Mike said something, when I'm gone, my style is dead, I'm a one of one. That's the uniqueness of art. There's nobody else gonna be guru. Once Keith E died, but the other half a gangstar. No, you can have somebody with a gruff voice, but they ain't really guru. You know what I'm saying? You could so the AI could do the voice, but you ain't finna give me guru. You know what I'm saying? It can study guru, but it ain't gonna give me guru. You ain't gonna give me pop. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like when Pac gone, so you ain't finna give me Pac. You ain't finna give me Biggie. You can get guys that sound like them. They can imitate them and do all. It's not the same thing because these dudes thought a certain way because they grew up a certain way. And like I always tell people, everybody's rhyme and how they structure things is like a fingerprint. And everybody's singing and whatever is like a fingerprint. And people can be close. You can even sound like somebody, but how you see things and how you process things is unique to how your mama and them raised you, what you experienced growing up. And see, the computer can't remember that. Like the computer don't know that I ran me and my cousin that gave me my first mixtape. I ran into him the other day. You know what I'm saying? And we were dapping it up, and we were talking about this, that, and third. And the people don't realize Eminem mentioned Duck Alert, and that was something I said, y'all don't realize this dude was listening to some rap music because Duck Alert was on that mixtape. And most people don't even know what that is. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and so I'm like, and so that's it. And you got people, I can vibe with Tyler the Creator because he gets it. He knows. He's like, that's why he did that Call Me If You Get Lost, because he's like, people miss that mixtape sound. They miss that. But the AI don't know how to do that. It can study it, but it ain't gonna catch stuff. Because humans gonna make silly little things, like almost memes, stuff that's gonna make you laugh. It's gonna, you know what I'm saying? Computer can imitate it, but I know how to get you. I said, because it made me chuckle, right? And stuff like, and it's like, you're like, oh man, this gonna be crazy. When I get through rapping, I'm gonna put this in here, and then this gonna happen, and then the girl gonna come in, you know, and you done orchestrated this whole thing. And it's because of your own unique taste. And see, that's why I'm saying, so I think that, you gonna lose. It's kind of like the same thing, and I know I'm going long, but it's the same thing I tell my friends in visual art. You know, right now the market is flooded with people doing a lot of AI art, right? And I will use some backgrounds and stuff like that when I'm making certain stuff, because it helps me out. I don't have to sit down and illustrate a bunch of stuff. I can take whatever. You can go back over the top of it. You can do this. You can fix it. I can easily go in and fix issues with illustration and stuff like that. But my thing is, it doesn't have the intent. You only get what you ask for when you're lucky, right? And so, I mean, you have to go, and trust me, you go through a lot. And so basically, you select the best you can select, and then you work with it, right? And it's gonna be your eye. And guess what? While you selecting, who's making this selection? Yeah, I don't know what it just did. You asked it for something. And it's like, here you go. Right? And you like, it don't know nothing about no good or bad, or man, you F that up. Man, this dude got 10 hands and a bear coat on. I'm like, it don't know. It just know you gave him something based on it's like you playing a game of charades. So it's the same thing so the people that's gonna use that service, they weren't gonna pay the artist, and they were gonna screw the artist over anyway, right? So them people, they let them have their fun. Cause one thing I'm gonna say, I think the other half, it's like, I think AI gonna pretty much take that burden off some folk. It may affect some Fiverr jobs. It's gonna affect these low rent, those low level, some of these jobs that you could just got a quick buck off some suckers on. But I don't know how much it affects the whole thing, because you still need that human touch. Now, you know, the only other thing with music, one more thing that I think the music industry gonna do, you into video games, I think all of music, when they start doing this, not only do they want to control the AI so they can make their own artists, but I see them turning music into one big video game. So basically, let's say me and you do a song, or you do a song, or I do a song. People are gonna wanna get their song into these platform systems, right? And then it's remix contest. And people pay they remix your song, and the song that gets to the highest, or the song that gets whatever, you know, maybe the little remixer gets something, right? And so basically people got accounts where they reworking their favorite songs, and they get to play with their favorite songs, and artists get a taste every time somebody play with their song, right? So, and if it goes up the charts or something. So cause see, they already started playing with it on Suno. Like, so they got song challenges on Suno, and they got song challenges coming on Udio, and they starting to pay people if your stuff charts, right? So think about it. Beyonce drops an album, or drops, and all stems are available on the AI, on the label's AI site, right? They say whoever makes the best remix, you got the original version, and then you start the remix competition. bruh,
Right.
game over. Game over. Music becomes nothing but a game. It becomes interactive. So now you re-engage people with music. You could even throw in visual elements of, like make a video. So now you re-engaging people with music with the AI, right? So you're taking music different. And then you challenging people to do stuff like make your own mixtape, right? Man, I'm gonna make the Flies mix. The person that got the Flies mixtape, get this. But to play the game, you gotta pay your monthly. You gotta buy new versions of the game.
Yeah, you got.
That's what I said. You gotta buy new versions of the game. You gotta pay your monthly subscription to play the game. You gotta pay the monthly subscription. Then you basically, and that's to even get in the running to win the bruh. That ain't number printing money. That ain't number printing. That ain't no. They finna print some money on them, sir. They finna print some, and the thing is, I don't know what happens with the indie. I don't know whether there be a lane for independents to do that. They may have something where they do, but it'll be great because you may get some meritocracy back in for the independent. But that's what I see the future of AI is. I see the double-edged sword. I know artists will lose a little bit. They can lose, but I think we're kind of like we're at this weird crossroad where the genie ain't going back in the bottle. And I know that the actors, I know that the labels are not our best advocates. And outside of artists banding together and forming some kind of union and making demands to the federal government, who, again, what we discussed before, these people don't care. Like, if you ain't got.
So that's what I wanted to spin the last topic into real fast. Since we're finna have a switch of the House from Democrat to Republican, it's pretty much over with. Sneaky Joe.
See, you doing too much. You're doing too much. Go look at Alan. You gotta look at Alan.
But look. So if we have a switch in the House,
well, you ain't gonna lose the House.
Because we know we know. But some politicians like to go in and ban stuff, try to reverse. They're trying to hold technology. For example, the whole situation with Taiwan or whatnot with the chips, and blocking China from getting certain of the chips. Technology is meant to be open source.
No, China. That whole the Chips Act had to happen because you need to be doing your stuff at home.
That's what I'm saying. So with all these blocks into different countries and in different deals, you limiting technology.
That's not limiting technology. You gotta look into that. That's not limiting. No, you're not. You're basically doing it at home. So basically, they know that's coming. That's just saying, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it myself because that's your job, right? If not, then you're going to be the victim of another country, and they control everything about you. You can't even start your car now. You see what I'm saying? And America's already behind because they're not even doing solar stuff. So you're dependent on other countries to do stuff for you. So now you're a child. You're feeble. You don't have anything. So if that country decides to cut you off, you screwed. You can't just ramp up overnight.
But see, that goes back to we understand that, but if technology was truly free and open source to the world, to where man don't have control.
But see, that ain't government.
The technology has the power.
You let that happen. No.
Yeah.
You let that happen when you let Microsoft and Apple run amok. They killed the only people who stood up to them are the Europeans. The European government stood up to the corporation. People are confused. People are confused in the United States. They don't understand the hazards of capitalism. They don't. So they will die. I mean, I'll just keep it simple. So they will have to suffer. But my thing is, it's the corporations like Microsoft who create monopolies. We have not enforced monopoly laws in a long time. Not since Reagan. You know what I'm saying? Because Reagan destroyed the monopoly.
Yeah.
And then once they tore down glass, and then by the time you got to Clinton, you got Glass and Steagall and all that other stuff falling. By the time all of these things fall, you don't got any kind of protection. So now it's like media consolidation. That's why record labels, you ain't got 3 record labels now. You got one company on all the radios, like 2 to 3 companies on all the radio stations. Because you got the Media Consolidation Act, right? So the problem is the corporations. The corporations buy the politicians. And so people are ignorant. They treat our politics like they football team. And they get these pie in the sky fake revolutionary ideas about it. But that ain't how it works. It's like the guy with the money is gonna call the tune. And that's how it's always been set up. So basically, Bill Gates shows up with his bag and say, I want that. And they say, what? I want that. And then they gonna get it. So we created these chips. We created the tech around these chips. Then under Reagan, China was the weak men of Asia. Go look up what that meant a long time ago. They called them the weak men of Asia because of what happened in World War II. And it was like their occupation by Japan, which was a brutal occupation. But either way, they was for so long, right? Then they let corporations ship all of the manufacturing jobs over there, ship everything we had over there. So it killed the Rust Belt and all these other places. It killed Birmingham, it killed places that were steel driven. You making steel in China for real? Fairfield said thank you. Fairfield said thank you. Pittsburgh said thank you.
So look, that's what I'm saying. So two things within this. So let's say what happens when America is no longer number one. That's the first thing.
Well, that's the problem. See, Americans are ridiculous. Yeah. They don't realize that once you lose anything like that in the global order, you're toast, right? And then the whole system is toast. And I don't mean the whole system. And it ain't gonna be for the positive. You ain't gonna win. You ain't gonna win. See, that's the problem.
So wait, they go into my second point. Do you see with the change of politicians that's about to be swapped in what's going on with the middle presidential election? Do you see them trying to reverse on some laws with AI?
No.
Or some laws with the music industry? Do you see what's the outcome?
More capitalism and on steroids. That party is with vulture capitalism. Are y'all not paying attention? Literally. Do you need a history lesson from Reconstruction on? You know who these people are, right? They're with corporate greed. They're with the corporation. They're going to do whatever the corporations want them to do. Whatever the oligarch money wants them to do. Internationally, locally. That's it. That's game. You know what I'm saying? And there ain't no magical revolution that will save you. Not happening. It's over. So that's that.
So no reversal on AI. You think they're good? They're gonna go full steam ahead with AI and
no, that's it.
The greed of
there is no way out of this. If people didn't wake up, see, the problem is people don't wake up. They think that it's some kind of magical thing out here that's finna stop these folks, but they don't educate themselves on the history of what these things are and how we got here. That's the problem. You have to understand how you got where you at. You see what I'm saying? And it ain't no magical, this party, that party. I said, forget a party. I'm looking at the corporate interest that buys the politician. George Carlin, a comedian, famously said, these politicians need to wear the logos of the company that bought their ass. That's what George Carlin said. He said they need to wear a logo of the company that bought them. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm even down to the Supreme Court. You know, you want to see who is it that owns these guys. You find out, they taking all these gifts. They doing all this. They doing all that. Of course they are. They're leveraging their position for power. And when you go back to the oligarchy, so basically, these people don't care about no technology. If it ain't making them no money, They ain't trying to be the future of nothing. They want that money. They want whatever. Exactly. And when you get down to what is it? I forgot. If you go look at, I could give you several books, but you really got to just go ahead and just look at how money moves and how, like, because the real money are the people that own the resources that make, like, with that, they can shut you off. They basically be like, that's enough of that. Like, you take, that's all the stuff that's happening with P. Diddy. I'm going to just do it on something that somebody can understand, right? This dude was working with one of the oldest liquor manufacturers that go, I think, probably before the Civil War or some crazy thing. These one of the oldest families in the United States that make liquor. I think they may be I think they're in Europe. Either way, he had the Spirit Company with him. He did something, came out against them on some foolishness. I don't know what it was. I can't say it's foolishness. Either way, he pissed them off. They said enough. They said enough of that. You're done. Now, I ain't saying that they set the rest of the stuff in motion. I'm just saying that magically now, all of a sudden, everything this dude did is out there. Everything you did. You were playing with us, and we had you covered, dog. But then you came out and bit my hand. So I ain't trying to be that guy. I ain't trying to be that guy. But I'm just saying, like, this dude been doing this stuff. This man that pretty much, there's a lot of allegations of the things that this man did or been associated with. Nobody did anything while he was doing it. But the minute he runs afoul of them folks, all of a sudden, oh my God, you ain't got the protection no more? What's up? Then, okay, I want you to look at something else that's gangster. They said, oh, this man, he owned Revolt TV. He do this. Man, this man didn't own no Revolt TV. Them folks that own that TV station, they put that man in front of that TV station so they could sell him and his brand to everybody to say, man, you need to be watching Puff Daddy TV. Now, he was like a figurehead. They gave him, holding, but he wasn't a guy that made anything. Like, the funny thing is, we got to speak with, I know this man has been in trouble too. Me and a friend of mine, we got to speak with Russell Simmons and stuff. He told us a long time ago, before all of this drama started happening. And he told us a lot about licensing and how a lot of things work, how you leverage your brand and you license your image and you do it, because he was telling us what he does with Fat Farm and was doing with Fat Farm at the time. And you know what I'm saying? And that was very insightful, because we was young men at that time. We were college age, and so that told us a lot, right? And so I was like, anytime a rapper or anybody say, man, I'm buying into this, I'll be like, they need you as a figurehead. You ain't got the kind of bread to be at that table, G. What got you at that table is your celebrity. You ain't at that table, man. Because that's just like, I see people trying to buy universities around here. But guess what? If they don't want to sell it, you can't buy it. You can't come to the table, Chief. Mm-hmm. You can't come to the table. I laugh at folk. I'm like, bro, it ain't these politicians. It's like, it's who owns the politicians, dog. And ain't nobody figured that out yet. Ain't nobody figured out. Like, this party, that party. I said, y'all keep on partying. These guys back here, they don't party too.
Yeah, who owns,
and that's it. And so really, when you look at it at the end of the day, like, basically, my only question is, will them throw more money? Who they gonna throw the most money to? Because it really don't matter who gets. They gonna just throw the money to whoever they want to. That's gonna flip the case, right? And in the music industry, the only reason why they sued Suno and Udio was because they either A, won't control, they won't end. They basically, this is an arbitration situation. That's what, because you're looking at a lawsuit that's going to go 7 years. At least, more than likely. It could go to 6 to 7 years before it gets done. So you're going to let a company operate for 6 to 7, you know what I'm saying? And then you're going to say, all right, man, it seems that we took something from you, so we got to shut you down tomorrow. Bruh, they going to cut a deal. Somewhere along the line, they'll get tired or they'll get whatever. And somebody cuts a deal and, sell out, and then you get this miraculous, UMG just bought Udio for $800 million, and everybody goes crazy. And then here comes that Beyonce thing I was telling you about, right? And the same thing, and Suno gets caught up by somebody else, name a label, or one of the big three. And once that happens, you sit there and be like, bruh, we got duped. I said, no, you didn't. This is arbitration. They just had to go ahead and put the lawsuit out there so that they would have leveraging point when they went to the table, because the AI companies had all the leverage. So they needed something. They waited to see what the AI companies were doing, and when they went, but see, the AI companies are slick. They still in their beta stage, so they still got beta on.
Yeah,
they got beta, but see, they started taking subscription. Now, what they can argue in court is we're taking subscriptions in our beta stage to further test our model. We haven't gone on to our full-on release. So we're getting people to pay to test our model as a useful tool within their workflow, to see how they use it and to learn more about it, right? We're not here to make a profit. See what I'm saying? Wink, wink. Nah.
So that's how they able to create a subscription and still be a non-profit.
Yes.
Oh, that's open.
So they're gonna say that they're saying they're doing that so they can pay for the resources it takes to test the model, right? That's probably what they're gonna say in court. They said we're not even here, and then they're gonna have a situation where they're gonna say, "Show me." See, the reason why they really came out is BBL Drizzy, right? It's BBL Drizzy.
Yeah.
Like BBL Drizzy was an AI thing created in Suno. It came from a comedian. Took it and flipped it and made it into a track. It became a #1 charting thing. The label said that's enough. If they start doing this, if they know they did that, like for twofold, as a fail-safe, so that you won't have Fred and or you won't have anybody. You won't have Frio. You won't have Mastermind. You won't have anybody saying, bruh, I'm finna go to this thing, crank me out a track right quick. You know what I'm saying? And that track slip and become a hit, right? And then all of a sudden you flooding the charts with your little track. Man, look, they trying to go ahead and slow it down, get their hands in there, do what they need to do. They ain't trying to protect no artists. I want people to understand that. Unfortunately, artists, I hope this again, I always tell people, artists got to understand, the same way I said about politics, if you do not organize and rise around ideology, you will not get any kind of protection, because folks with the money just gonna do what they want to do. Artists, I work for several artist organizations, sit on the board of one of them. I can tell you, trying to organize artists is like trying to herd cats. Good luck. Good luck to all of those out there, because until it gets to the point where it's the union, the writers unions and stuff like out in Hollywood, you in trouble, my dog. You in trouble, my G.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, bruh, I'm talking about it's gonna be squirrel. You know how the little dog be running along? He said squirrel. That's how it's gonna be. I mean, I'm an artist myself, so there could be some laser focused artists out here in the world doing it. Hey, I give you all the props in the world, sir. Please form an organization and save us all, because right now I don't see the advocates out here. And I know the politicians ain't finna do that. And then as far as the AI folk, this just finna be big business as usual. Cause look at what happened with Spotify. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, it's bad. So that's why I said artists' only hope is direct to consumer. Their only hope is to get back to your craft, get with your audience, get leveraging points, so that if you have to do handshakes with snakes, which is the industry, you're able to do the handshake with the snake, because leverage is everything. Everything you do in life is a game of leverage. If I show up and I start working with you and I ain't got no leverage, then you can take advantage of me. You see what I'm saying? So leverage is everything. Mm-hmm. So that's something I want everybody, I'll leave on that note. I think that because I know we done went long and you had to edit some of this down, but that's what I would suggest. Like, I don't look at the, like politics of tech and all of this. It just don't work. It's like everything is about corporations. It's about what do these corporations want. They're consistently doing deals behind the table. only a couple of it was Europe, it was the UK. They the only people that challenged Microsoft and took them down. They challenging Apple and stopped them, like when they were doing goofy stuff. And the open source movement was hindered by Microsoft a long time ago with Windows and stuff like that. Now they're embracing, well, I ain't gonna say embracing, they're openly stealing and putting the Linux kernel inside of their faulty stuff. And lastly, I keep saying lastly like a preacher, but let me just say this. AI, and we'll talk about this on another show, is largely a hustle by that corporation, by those big corporations, because they lost so much money in the virtual space. And anybody who wants to research that, they can research that. Like basically AI, the tech industry makes most of its money off of selling a dream. They oversell. They tell you what. Exactly. They oversell. They say, man, this is going to make your life so much better. It's going to do this, it's going to do that. When you start kicking the tires, because see, I'm a person that I'm not from the show me state, but you got to show me. And people can't show me. You can't tell me. You got to show me. Because I like to look at empirical data. I don't go off of feeling. I'm like, people think I'm an asshole because I'm just cold, hard facts when it comes to stuff. I don't want to do no, I feel this, I don't like that, I don't like this. Hey man, maybe you need to just, take it to church because I'm about to do some facts. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah, now I say this last part too is, I think, see, when you said the digital world came first for the metaverse, and look at what Meta did. They even named, changed the name to Meta. But see, the AI should have been the first focus, and then to the digital stuff, because like I said, the digital stuff is linked to the blockchain and the Web3. It wasn't time for it yet. That was just a test phase. But now the AI is here, that's going to benefit and help out the digital space.
Yeah, but see,
you see what I mean? AI should have came first.
Well, see, AI ends up bailing out the virtual because basically the virtual failed and they needed a hot new item. The problem is now.
Yeah,
can
that's why I said
tell you
AI
something?
should have went first.
They're kind of like at the end of the AI run too, right? So, you're going to still see a bunch of releases and stuff like that. But once they clamp down on certain things, by clamp down, I mean, they, the companies go out. Because even when you talk about currency and stuff, like I always tell people, I always ask people, what does the IMF? Nobody can answer my question. And because they say, oh, it's going to circumvent the IMF. I say, people, they kill lots of people behind anything that circumvents, like, currencies of any kind, right? Because that's structurally not how this happened. I mean, I don't. It's like, because I'm like, again, I got friends that are economists, right? And it's just kind of like, it's. Yeah. I know people think that, I said, you can't be in a game. It's like me walking in a casino and say, I'm going to set up my own. I got to get out this casino, dog. I don't know how I get out this casino. It's like my buddy once said, like, you in a game where you can't win, you can't leave, and it's hard to even break even. Chances are you can't break even either. I know it's bad. I know this sounds awful, but it takes a lot of ideological shifts globally to do so. And I don't mean the mess that's going on now, because the mess that's going on now is just status quo. I don't care how it looks. You know what I'm saying? That's just status quo. I said, everybody's like, oh, it's all. I said, please look underneath the curtain, please. Thank you, and stop all of this caterwauling. It's the same crap. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's the same crap. So now, don't get me wrong. The minute, like, you take one of the big whales, say, I want my own coin for whatever reason, right? And I'm going to put the full faith and invested credit of a nation that is stable behind that coin. Well, that kind of, because, when you look at where, it came from, coming from the Silk Road and Buddy running drugs and all this other stuff, you kind of like, you say, okay, then you say, oh man, we're going to upend the system. I say, well, he can't. It's his monetary theory. I just want everybody to go look at my theory. That's it. I just want everybody to look at monetary theory. I ain't gonna. I'll go super long on that. But monetary theory is not changing, and all currency is fiat, and that's what I want people to understand. Because currency shouldn't exist at all, but it has to because it don't. It, well, I mean,
He said
it
don't
don't
have to.
have to. It's just the fact that slavery, serfdom, capitalism.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there we go. So you gotta have something, right? So so
Nah,
that's it. So that's it.
yeah,
You
nah, I
get what
follow.
I'm saying? So it's like that's it, man. So
Yeah,
like you gotta have all money is fiat. Like the only reason why you even got a currency is to pretty much because like I said, taxes is just about circulating the currency and keeping the system vital. It's whatever. Like I tell people, at the end of the day, like I hate to be doom and gloom, dude, but it's not really doom and gloom. It's just understanding how the game. Like I always tell people, I don't show up to a football game with a catcher's mitt. I know what I was the guy that was defending dudes out of bounds, and they were confused. Some people really didn't know you can't step outside of them and come back in and catch the ball. And I was pointing at him
yeah.
with the ref, and the ref see the step out. He caught the ball, think he going somewhere, and I pointed. He had to bring the ball back, and they lost. And I'm sitting over there, and I'm just sitting over there wiping my hand with the towel with my head caught, looking at him like, you know what I'm saying? I did that to several people. You defend them outside of bounds. You know what I'm saying? So again, and that's that type of stuff, man. I just want people to educate themselves and understand, because there's a lot of these things are useful tools. Blockchain and all of that is useful tools. Web3, useful tools. What we call AI, this machine learning sequencing algorithm, it can be useful, but again, the corporations that have the monopoly on all of this, it's just like streaming. Like, streaming, they killed Napster because Napster and the torrent culture is what created streaming. They killed streaming. They took it away from the independents. They shut down every torrent. They ran out you go look up Torrent Freak, which I still follow. These are the pirates. Pirate base still, it's a shell of itself, and every country in the world has hunted them down because of their sharing, and that's digital media holders and stuff like that. They're hunting people down right and left. They're giving people fed time like they were out here shooting, like they were doing something bad. I don't want to say anything horrible, but they doing something bad. And so that's why I said ignore. I close on this note. Please ignore the only thing you need to pay attention on politics is what is these corporations? Who are the corporations paying for what? Corporations pay for everybody. They pay both sides all the time. They don't care. They want their one side that is very, very corporate, which is the person out now, and they want they just want absolute control, and they control the system. So that's the thing people don't pay attention to. And like, they flipped the torrent thing, which was the streaming thing, became the streaming thing, and the artists end up getting screwed. They were screwing the artists already. So the labels are paying money to preserve their space. You know what I'm saying? And you couldn't get you black folk. You couldn't get a radio station. Boy, there was some black radio stations. I mean, back in the day you had a couple, but them dudes, they put so much pressure on them little dudes, and then when consolidation came through, they wiped out most of them. So there you go. So now everybody is an affiliate of, name a station, Cox, Sinclair Broadcasting. I can go out, and they own TV stations too. So Sinclair owns TV stations and radio stations. That used to be against the law. But then you got media consolidation. So these are the type of things that people got to understand. That let you know why technology, you are not about to get any positive on technology. You need, and like I said, with the chip thing, you needed it here, because if you let China do it, they control it. You done. Because at that point, like, let's say you got to manufacture a chip because you need to put it in and then God forbid, you got to put it in a war weapon. You feel me? Man, you finna lose intellectual property. Bro, you can't do that. Man, they better put some on that damn chip, man. Then bro, I'm like, man, because I was like, is America just stupid? Can somebody help me? Like, is they stupid? That's like saying, look, man, I know me and you don't get along, but I'm gonna let you cook my food. I see you got that cyanide over there.
Now we gonna dive more into the chips next time, because I wanna dive deep into that next time, because a lot of chips is made in China.
A lot of them.
Like I said, what happens when America is not number one no more.
Oh no, that's
so
but the key thing
come.
is, I think a lot of people think that's a big thing, that that's gonna do this. All you're doing is messing with the international money. If you destabilize a holding currency internationally, and you throw the globe into any kind of chaos, if you on the receiving end of that, all you're gonna do is lose. So America needs to start making its own chips and stuff now, not whatever. I'm just telling you, they need to do their own. They should have been doing this a long time ago, and they should have never gave it to these other countries. And it's okay to do trade with other countries, but it's not okay because the European countries don't do that. America, the only country that did that, and that's because of Ronald Reagan. We the only country that did that. Please go show me. Please, I want you to go show me where Germany, where France, where Europe, where all these other countries saying, look, man, you just make my chips, I ain't gonna make nothing overseas. Yeah, they be like, hell no, cuz. We'll buy some from you now. We'll do a trade with you, but we make ours too now. I mean, you start playing with us, we'll just start messing with you no more. Because that's the way it's supposed to work. That's the way it's supposed to work. But Reagan was like, no, we're gonna let them make it and we'll just get it and we're gonna be the consumer country. Okay.
Yeah, look, we're gonna come back and talk to the chips. Talk about chips or whatnot in the next episode. I wanna close it out. We've been here quite some time.
You probably want to cut this one in half at the AI, because I know we didn't went long on this one. This will kill somebody.
We're gonna give them the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? We dive deep into the AI and music, deep into the Web 3 and how Web 3 and AI is gonna basically working together and things. So I know the chips is gonna be the another. We touched on it a little bit here. We're gonna touch on it again on another one. So what we're doing is probably like every month or so. We're gonna shoot them an episode every two episodes a month or so. We're gonna be in consistent. All right, for sure. We just gotta find some more talking points we're gonna dive heavy into like we did in this episode today. Tell them where to find. Yeah. He said I got plenty. Tell them where you find Fred. Tell them what's happening.
I got some sites coming up. Of course, Bad Magics is a site we're about to retool, which we do a lot of music through, and I'm gonna be unveiling. I don't want to call it lo-fi, but we're gonna do our chill hop thing here pretty soon. Player wave type stuff. So we'll be building a site around that pretty soon, and I'll be letting y'all know on future shows where they're gonna be at. So Bad Magics is about to be retooled, and that's badmagics.com, and we're about to go ahead and I'll be giving you a name of a site here pretty soon. We're waiting to launch it, so I can't give it away right now for my partners, and we'll be kind of kicking that out. So be just peeping that out. And hey, we need to go ahead and I guess get on the rest of the socials, man, when you put this up. You need to go and get us on the rest of the socials, Mastermind. Go and do your thing.
For sure. Yeah, this episode here is gonna we're gonna throw this under the Real Gamer one, the YouTube page, Mastermind RGTV. And we'll probably we're gonna throw it on all of the podcast platforms, but later on with future episodes, we're gonna put this one together with like a whole different category type deal. We start getting into the big money and the businesses and how we buy other politicians and all that. Cause that swings out to different topics, but we're gonna put it all together. Gonna make it make sense. Until next time, my brother. I appreciate you for
no problem,
gems, man.
All right, bro.
Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.